here. There's only a few ways we can go now because we know that, we have to have environmentally friendly options in terms of technology and infrastructure. So it's like
speed.
Crypto is the future.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to the Crypto Logic Podcast. My name is Mike. This is your co-host, John. And our goal on this channel is to help make crypto as logical as possible for you. Now, today's going to be a very special day, man, because we have a very special guest on the channel. It's one of our first interviews, and we're very excited to have him on. He goes by the name of DANTE DeFi. If you guys don't know who he is, I don't know where you are. This guy is amazing. He's dope. And by the end of this interview, you're going to think he's dope too. All right. So without being said, let's actually introduce DANTE DeFi. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
What's up, guys? Sorry, I interrupted you on the intro. I thought
No, sorry.
Oh, no,
I thought my
fine,
camera
brother.
went off again because the Zoom disappeared, and I was like, oh my goodness. Anyway, thank you so much for having me, guys. Like,
Of
I
course.
mean, we've already talked before the start of this. I'm just very excited for what's to come, and obviously this podcast as well.
Yeah, man, 100%. So while we're getting the questions, because you know what I'm saying, a lot of people have these questions. We got to get the questions out there. But while we're doing that, man, can you give people a little understanding of who you are, what your channel is about, and things of that nature, so they have an understanding of who you are?
Yeah, so I mean, to summarize it, basically my channel is a crypto channel, but the reason I started the crypto channel initially was really just from seeing what crypto YouTube had become and kind of seeing a lack of just honest information out there, experience, lessons learned about the crypto space, because I think, a lot of people look at it as a space where you can just get rich quick or get lucky and just, throw a bunch of money into meme coins. But they don't actually, and I guess it's not really the fault, but the responsibility of people who are in crypto sort of to explain that this is a lot bigger than just, making a lot of money on some meme coins, blockchain technology itself, and all of these different things that encompass crypto are going to be, in my opinion, part of our future. So I've been into this stuff for a long time, and then just sort of realized like, hey, I have this kind of knowledge that I've just been kind of hiding from people because I didn't think anyone cared. But then I saw like people talking about this stuff online, and I'm like, I could do something with this. This is something that I've, like I said, been very interested in. And I think you guys have a very similar goal, obviously, with your podcast, which is why, we're here today together making this.
Yeah. The reason why we gravitated towards you, and to be honest with you, is when we watched your videos, man, it was not just about like money, VRA or like, hey, get into this token. Hey, get into this token. It was more of understanding like, hey, this is why I'm telling you this. It has this partnership. It has this partnership. Here's the deep dive between this. Here's the, technical analysis on this token. And, we really respected that because on our channel, we're here for beginner investors. We want to make it as simple as possible for you to understand because, as you know, crypto is a space where most people believe that it's either fake, not real, get rich quick scheme. Like there's a lot of negative things going on with the crypto space that if you just listen to the mainstream media, you will get lost in the sauce. So
yeah, the fun too.
You know what I'm saying?
If you follow the news, you can get lost real quick.
Yeah, because you'll think that that's the truth. And channels like yours, channels like ours, we try and
real awareness.
Yeah, bring real awareness to the crypto space. So yeah, man, super dope. Now, first question of the day. You ready? DANTE? Let's go, man. All right. First question is, how and when did you first learn about cryptocurrency and what brought you in?
Like to keep you around, like what made you stay, like, immersed in it? So that's a two-part question.
Yeah, the first part of that question would be, I think it was 2014, sophomore year of high school. I'm 23 now, so I had to have been like, I don't know, 14 or something like that. Wow. I had two friends who introduced me to Bitcoin basically and told me about this crazy thing online that you can make real dollars off of. But basically they were talking about mining Bitcoin and trying to explain to me without really understanding what blockchain was, trying to explain to me what blockchain was. So it was a very like abstract thing to try and wrap my head around.
Especially at that age.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many other random things that you think are important in life when you're 14.
Yeah, exactly.
The school dances.
Yeah, like, the obvious distractions when you're in high school where it's like somebody's telling you about something that's going to change the world and you're kind of just like, sure.
Yeah. 100%.
And the other thing is like, yeah, it was kind of the start of the, you can make money online doing this, that, and the other thing. So to me, it just felt like a fad that I was willing to partake in because my buddy said we were going to make a lot of money.
Right.
Eventually I asked for $500 from my dad to build a computer essentially. And I couldn't explain obviously what was going on with why we needed the money. So I didn't get the money, unfortunately, but
oh man. But your dad's probably kicking himself now.
All the way. What?
Your dad's probably kicking himself now. Like, should have gave it to him.
I don't think he remembers. I'll send this to him and I promise you he'll say, Dante, that never happened, man.
Yeah.
He's like, I would have listened to you.
What is that called? Selective hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
or memory, or I don't know what it is.
It's funny because he was actually also one of the people who planted the seed in my head after that about, hey, look into this blockchain stuff. It possibly could be interesting. I never took it seriously, but from 2014 up until 2017, I was aware of blockchain. I was aware of Bitcoin. I very briefly traded it here and there when I actually had some disposable cash. And so up until 2017, I didn't really get into crypto the way I'm in it now. Right. But then in college as well, I realized blockchain was one of the only things that I was truly interested in studying that was maybe related to something I could actually major in. So I ended up going with a management information systems degree because of the blockchain projects and the research. I was able to be a research assistant as well for some projects regarding application of blockchain.
Oh wow, that's pretty.
So
dope,
it just it's sort of weird how I never considered looking into crypto, but I was doing all of this research and studying smart contracts and how blockchains and distributed ledger technology, all this stuff that seems so abstract. I was looking into that stuff, but not really crypto. And then in 2017, when Bitcoin exploded, I'm like, that was when I really was like, yo, what am I doing? I've known about this since I was a kid. I basically know the scarcity factor of Bitcoin, which is really what people don't understand with digital money. It seems to me when I explain it is how can we really put value to this? I understood the value of it. So I knew, this is going to be worth a lot of money one day, but I never took the action, I guess. And in the last couple of years, basically after graduating college, I found myself with a lot of time to be able to really dive deep into where crypto is going. And honestly, COVID,
right.
Ever since COVID, life has felt like a simulation to me. I was like, all right, it's confirmed. We are in a simulation.
Yeah.
And so it's where are we going from here? There's only there's the signs of where we're going to go from here. There's only a few ways we can go now because we know that, we have to have environmentally friendly options in terms of technology and infrastructure. So
exactly.
It's
speed.
Crypto is the future. It's going to be part of the future. That's what the conclusion eventually I think most people would come down to is when you understand the breadth of crypto, or blockchain specifically, and what crypto can do, not cryptocurrency, but crypto assets.
Right.
Then you're you can't really go back in time after that. You realize you've seen the new world and you're like, all right, I'm going to be fully invested in this.
Yeah, man.
And I'm going to help other people realize holy shit, you can take that out.
No, that's
we
fine.
have, we have life-changing opportunity in front of us where, the individual actually can benefit. It's not just going to be, banks. And there's another funny story in there as well, is I just moved into this studio when I started my first full-time job. And paying my rent was such a arduous task. It was so hard to do. And I was always worried about missing my rent payments. And one month, finally, after being so worried about this, always making sure that I was on time, I was actually late on a rent payment because of the banking statement being incorrect, or I sent it from the wrong account or whatever. And that's when I realized how truly dysfunctional the way all these things work are, because I was paying, I was paying fees,
outdated,
this, that, and the other. And I was like, this is not something that we can move into the future with. Something happens that changes all of this. And then I discovered DeFi, and then the rest is history, right?
Dang.
Damn,
from
that's
there, I
super
went
dope,
down the rabbit
man.
hole, and it was over from there.
Now you said something
That's so
pretty
cool.
pretty pinnacle that I wanted to kind of highlight. You said that a lot of people want to get into crypto, but I personally think that they're just afraid of it, right? You did all your research, you did all your understanding, you know exactly how blockchains and how it actually works on the back end. But most people look at it on the surface. They don't dive that deep to find out, okay, what's a blockchain? What does this do?
Yeah, layer 1, layer 2.
They don't want to figure that out. They just want to know, well, how much money am I going to make?
Yeah,
Is it gonna make
that's
any
the
money?
thing.
And that's the narrative that we have to try and change, and that we hope we could change with our channels, is to give people the understanding of why you need to do your own research. Because like, if I say, hey, I'm into DAG, or hey, I'm in a VRA, or hey, I'm in a VXV, I'm going to say that because I have my understanding. I've done my research. You know what I'm saying? But for someone who looks at me maybe as an influencer, they're going to be like, well, if he did it, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to do
It's like a
research.
validation thing for a lot of people, and that's not the right way to invest. Like,
you know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, with our channels, that's what we hope to do with the crypto space. So
that's so cool. Yeah.
No, that's exactly on point. Like,
blockchain is so
interesting.
Yeah,
honestly.
Like, there's so much to it, right?
So second question is going to be, how does a cryptocurrency get added to your portfolio? Like, what is the qualifications that you need to be like, okay, I'm going in with this one?
What do you look for in regards to when you want to invest in a cryptocurrency? What is it that you look for that makes it, okay, this one belongs in my portfolio?
I guess
or
the one most like, to simplify it mostly, this is why I say it's like, you need to understand blockchain on a surface level, really. And once you understand it on a surface level and why it's important, like why it's going to be an important piece of technology, that's all you really, you don't have to go into the, technicals of being able to, code smart contracts or do these crazy things. Just understand the technology enough to invest in it. And that's by looking at every like application or project as a business, really. It's very simple. It's like, mainly who is it that is coming with this project or product, and then what is the problem they're solving, and then after that, who are they actually working with? So it's really a more people focused thing, because I know this sounds like, to some people this would sound like, like, oh my gosh, I can't listen to this stuff, but it's like, you do have a sense of intuitiveness with some of these things. Once you can read the white papers, you can do all this stuff, but at the end of the day, it's people driving it. It's people working with other people driving it. And so are they going to be successful in being able to do that? Are there going to be barriers that they come across that they're not going to get through because they don't have the right connections, or they don't know how to approach the situation correctly? Because obviously this stuff has so many like regulatory implications and whatnot, where you need that. So
100%. Yeah, I agree.
To give you an example, one of the first reasons I got back into crypto, really like taking time into it, was Cardano, because of Charles Hoskinson. And he was the first person I was like, I looked at it and I was like, wow, like this guy is actually he's one of the first people I've seen who's actually bringing people on board with crypto. That's not just bringing them to crypto to get rich.
Right.
And he was a little bit of inspiration to me in the sense that I was like, it's not like I'm a Cardano fanboy, because people get so caught up in that stuff. It's like,
the maxis, right? You can have multiple. You don't have to just be.
Yeah. But I mean, the maxis don't agree with you. Like Bitcoin maxis, they'll kill you.
That's the thing that a lot of people can get warped into in reality, in crypto reality, right? Like if you like, politics, people are so into the right, the left, and then and certain things in crypto, it's supposed to be the opposite of that. It's supposed to be we're all in this together.
Exactly.
We want all of these technologies to thrive. But then people end up going, I'm Bitcoin. Ethereum's never going to pass Bitcoin. 88's never going to be better than 88's never going to replace Ethereum. And then they're doing the same thing as if they were over there when they're talking about, the political side.
That toxic,
the news, fake news and real news, and and it gets super
super
war-y, like you get in a war over there, and then the same thing over here. Like, it's not supposed to be like that, right? So
I totally agree.
That's so cool. Like the Charles Hopkins, because I always tell Mike, I'm like, I love Charles Hopkins because he's so blunt. He's arguing with these billionaires. He argues with them. He explains things with Elon Musk, Mike Novogratz. He'll explain the tech, and they're all hating on his project and all that stuff. And he's straight up doesn't care what anyone thinks, and because he believes in his project.
Yeah.
He believes 100%. In the future of crypto. So that's so cool that you mentioned.
Do you think Alonso's gonna launch on the 12th, or do you think it's gonna be pushed back, just based off your intuition and understanding?
I think it's gonna be all right. I think
me too.
I honestly, I literally invested in 2020 at the end of 2020 at some point in Cardano.
Yeah.
And since then I didn't like, I just I invested and I stopped really paying attention to
Set
what
and
was
forget.
happening.
Yeah.
I listened to Charles Haas. I used to listen to him every now and again, but honestly, I haven't been recently. But I'm like, for whatever reason, it was just like, I'm invested. I believe in it. And that's that. I'm not going to sell my position, whether it goes down or up, or really, I'm just going to let it,
Do
see
its
how
thing.
it plays out, because it's like, it's one of those bets where it's like, to me, Bitcoin was the proof of concept. It doesn't mean it's not going to be something that's here forever. I think it will be for
Right.
the most part, but it is, if you really think about it, it's just the proof of concept of blockchain as a technology, right? Like, this is just one thing we can do with this. If we're able to expand, we can do so many other things. And again, it's Charles Hoskinson, but it's not him. It's also all the other people who are working with and for him.
Yeah.
Those are the
Right.
people that matter, because I know those people aren't going into work every day and making vaporware.
Right.
And it's insane, because we live in a time right now where it's like, to me, it's like I'm questioning every single thing about our lives, everything about the way our governments work, about society.
Yeah.
And it's like, how are you not going to question your own, like, blockchain is such a progressive and crypto is such a progressive space, and it's so transformative that you have to be a little bit, you would assume you have to be open-minded to accept that this is going to play a part in our future. But it's so ironic to me that like someone can be so closed-minded once they find Bitcoin or they find something else where it's like, there's never going to be anything that comes and battles with this for top spot as a crypto. It's like, dude, like, what are you saying? Like, we're in a place where literally tomorrow the next greatest thing could come around and totally wipe us all out.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know. We don't know that. Like, it could be tomorrow, it could be in 10 years, but you're saying that like, oh, we have this transformative technology, but this is the only one. This is the only application of that technology that's actually practical and will be something. That's, to me, is interesting.
Yeah, but that I attribute that to more of not understanding. You know what I'm saying?
Or lack of
understanding.
Or wanting to understand.
You know, a lot of people are closed-minded, and what you said is a great point. You have to be open-minded if you're going to be an investor in a crypto. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, the tokens that you're invested in technically aren't fully implementing what their use case is for. You know what I'm saying? You're basing your understanding, your knowledge, your investment on the future of what it potentially could do. So yeah, man, you definitely have to have an open mind. But nowadays, man, if you start talking about crypto to anybody, they're gonna be like, oh, you're a tin hat, 100%. You're a tin hat.
Or
you know?
you got Dogecoin.
Yeah, Dogecoin's the next question.
Bitcoin.
It's either the first or the second. Is Dogecoin.
Yep. Either
Some
Doge
people
or Bitcoin.
know Ethereum, but they don't know what it does, but they know the name.
Yeah,
right?
but they'll
There's
call like
people that don't know what
Ethereum or
Ethereum
something.
does.
Something crazy.
Yeah.
It's fair. I guess that's the point of people like you and I, us making channels, is like, it's not that we come from higher ground. It's just that from whatever path we've taken in life, I've just like, I spend a lot of time doing this, like researching this stuff and looking into this stuff. So it's like, yeah, you might as well share that, because that is your that's your value add to the world at some point or another. It's like, what are you going to do with this information otherwise when we're in this situation?
Exactly.
That literally leads into the next question.
Yeah, that leads into the next question, which is basically what basically got you decide what made you decide to get into creating content around the crypto space? Because YouTube is huge, and you could have did literally anything. Why did you choose crypto?
I'm gonna make some YouTube. I'm gonna make a YouTube channel, and I'm gonna go for it. Like, what moment?
Like, so I guess so. Interestingly enough, like, basically from around even prior to when I was introduced to Bitcoin, I was very much into YouTube and like content creation. And I've always been like, I've had a very creative side to me that I've had to, release in some way or another, whether it be like actual art, graphic design, or making videos or making music. So after graduating college, I played soccer in college, and so that took up a lot of my time. And after that, I was done with that. I realized I have all this time. Like, what am I going to do? I got, like, what is my next project? Like, what am I going to, what is my legacy going to be? Because it's not going to be soccer, right? Like, I'm done now. I'm done. I've played it my whole life. And so I've always wanted to do music. So for basically all of 2020, every single day, I was making music. Like, for a whole year, I said I was going to do it and see how good I got. And the plan was I was going to post on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. And I realized, like, this is going to take me 7 years to really master this and get to a point where I'm okay with releasing the stuff that I'm making, because I don't want to release something that's not actually good.
Right.
And it's kind of crazy because one day, like my laptop, my MacBook, actually from the amount of stress I was putting it on with all the stuff hooked up to it, blah, 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 it just burned out. It just died. And
technology, there's technology.
yeah, like I said, I was making music every single day for a year, and then my computer broke. So I was literally like, well, what do I do now? Like, I can't make music. And somehow or another, in the 2 or 3 days that my computer was gone, I got back into crypto. And then I was like, holy hell, like I'm gonna make a YouTube channel. This is what my next project is. This is what, and like I'm gonna do this in a way where it's like I'm gonna start from the ground with zero.
Right.
And I'm not gonna do any advertising. I'm not gonna tell anybody about it. I'm just gonna start it. Because obviously, I mean, at least for me, a lot of the times the hardest thing is always having a great idea but never starting it. So what's the point of having the idea if you don't start it?
Exactly.
So I just rolled with it, and we're here today, man.
There we go.
Yeah, man, you took off, man. That's
a round of applause for that, brother.
That's like a big step. A lot of people, a
lot of people miss out on that.
I see like a lot of people that like in comments and stuff, they'll ask questions and then they'll say, sometimes they'll answer questions that someone else is asking, and you could see some people like, dang, there's people out there that have the knowledge too, but sometimes they don't have you know what I mean?
They're afraid. I mean,
they can't see themselves talking to a camera
is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Let's get that out of the way. Talking to a camera is very difficult.
Getting comfortable with it, and like I was like, oh, you watch it at first, I was like kind of weird.
No, it's very true. Like I always wanted to be a content creator, but exactly what you said, I wasn't comfortable with being on camera, which is something
takes a lot of courage.
Exactly, you have to get over it, because you realize, and this is the other thing, is like, even with crypto, it's like you always assume like, oh my God, there's going to be someone out there that knows more than me who's going to call me out for what I said.
Yeah, that was John's biggest fear.
That was our biggest thing in the beginning, was getting fact checked.
Yeah, no, which is like, I feel like the point of the channel and learning you guys is not to be experts. It's that we are learning from our mistakes, our successes together. We're growing together. This is a journey. This is not a, how are you supposed to tell me what's going to happen in 5 years with crypto when we don't even know? So nobody really knows. So you can just assume that we're all really speculating on our best estimation of what's going to happen. So it's like, let's all get together and bring our minds together and hopefully not miss out on something. Yeah. And hopefully not get screwed over by the people who, like, and I say people, but really the kind of
corporations,
the societal structures, corporations,
the
way
elites,
we've been structured now.
It's
exactly. We don't want to just hand away the power that is potentially going to be given back to us by things like blockchain. So it's like, that's why it's not just important for like you and I to understand it. It's like, like we're talking about all these things that need to happen to make our, make the US and the world a better place.
Right.
A lot of those things can be solved, and people don't realize it with blockchain.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And not necessarily blockchain, but like
the whole thing. Yeah,
exactly.
Everything, DeFi, everything.
I mean, this opportunity that we have here is like a once in a lifetime type thing.
Yeah.
Like imagine if you were there when the internet first started and you had the opportunity to get in on that.
Yep.
You will be like, bro, I'll wear a tin hat. I don't care. I'm getting into this internet thing.
And they thought the internet was fake. The internet was a joke.
So it's one of those things where it's like we want to bring on our channel, we want to bring so much understanding so people can really be like, man, I could really change my life with this. You know, just do it. You know what I'm saying?
What's cool is that it's like we're documenting with the technology that we have now. We're like literally documenting this in like 20 years from now. It's like Gary Vee has been documenting everything, and he has like footages of him in like 2010, 2009 talking about how Instagram is going to change the world and social media is going to change the world. People are going to monetize themselves and become their own news stations and stuff like that.
Yeah. No,
that's like one little glimpse of what he's been saying for like 10 years.
I don't know. Yeah. Gary Vee, I always discounted him as being one of those guys. And this is how like I realized I had got, grown up a little bit, is because like at first when I listened to Gary Vee, I thought he was kind of corny. I didn't really understand what he was saying.
Yeah, a lot of people did. Yeah.
And then when you really like if you really listen to what he's saying, like the guy is being completely real. Like he's telling you exactly what you basically will come to a conclusion in your head about eventually
whenever you're ready, whenever you get there.
Exactly.
Whenever you reach
when
that
you're
point.
when you lose the ego and you realize this guy, or there's people out there who have gone through what you're going through, and history, they're always saying it. Even what's his name, JD Crypto, or Coach JD was saying it, like history doesn't rhyme or repeat, but it rhymes.
Yeah,
exactly.
And, the way I see, like it was like a moment also, like where I realized, like again, like I have to document this because it's like this is the internet all over again.
Yep.
It literally is. And I wasn't aware during when the internet showed up, but I remember when it actually, like when I had a router in my house for the first time, and I thought that was
AOL.
most insane thing.
I hated it. Yeah.
7 minutes to
The AOL. I remember that. Yeah. So quick. So the fifth question, man, is how did crypto change your life since you got in?
Wow. Crypto changed my life because it I would say that it's given me, I guess, a medium or a channel to talk about the things I want to talk about. And I'm not there yet because it's like, right now it's like where I have a very long-term vision for what I want from YouTube.
Understand.
And from my channel. And so it's like right now it is mainly crypto focused, and it is very much around assets that are going to do well, blah, blah, blah. But the point is, it's like eventually slowly, like, planting those seeds in people's heads about the bigger picture of what's actually coming, and growing that into something that, really economically, socially, environmentally, like these are all important topics. It's really like, it's much bigger than just crypto. It's about, where are our lives going?
Yeah.
It's hard to say that, but
no,
that's
man,
that's really,
that's real,
so
though.
like that's what I look at every single day. It's like I'm looking at, like, that's what my life is basically. Like I work 3 days a week, and then I'm doing this more than 4.5 days a week. And it's like, a year ago I didn't even have a YouTube channel. I didn't have anything like this. So like you can imagine what my life is, the change that's happened
and where you're destined to go, right? Like, and you probably have goals for yourself.
Yeah. And it's like, it's realizing you can really, I mean, honestly, like I'm also younger than a lot of people in crypto, but it's like realizing, like, again, since COVID happened, I felt like I've been in a simulation, and I'm kind of understanding that there's really endless possibilities to what you can do, what I can do.
Exactly.
And, like I don't want to be an influencer, but I more so want to be, someone who is, creating a space for conversation, because I feel like in so many ways there's no conversations being had. It's just you're right and I'm wrong all the time. So
there's no the open-mindedness. Is that even a word? Open-mindedness.
I'm doing the same thing, man.
Open-mindedness of it all is gonna take time for a lot of people to kind of, because we're more so focused on, like, I don't like how he talks because he explains it weird, and I don't like how he talks or she talks or whatever the case may be. And it's not even really about that. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's about the bigger picture where we're all leading to. Because whether you're into XRP or VeChain or whatever you're into, we're all still coming together to have one main focus, one main goal is to help the world become a better place. I mean, look at NFTs and the metaverse and Sandbox and Decentraland and all these things. Like, imagine actually being able to put on a VR headset or something and going into the metaverse. You know what I'm saying?
It's unbelievable, because
it's interesting.
Yeah, you put the pieces together and you realize, like, this is going somewhere. This is
100%.
And again, like, you go down the rabbit hole and then you realize, like, unfortunately this is going to be the reality. Like, this sucks, but it's like including a lot of people my age, including a lot of my friends, it's like, they're going to have to see us be right about crypto, about what we're saying, for them to kind of be like, oh shit, like I need to pay attention now.
Exactly.
And at that point, it's almost too late. Like, or it's late.
Mike and John have been telling me this for, like, the last 3 years, and I was just kind of dismissing it. But now, like, I got to pay attention. Like, that's what a lot of people are going to do. And I think crypto is going to be one of those things that, makes people start questioning a lot of other things in their lives about what they're doing. I think it's going to be one thing. Yeah.
That's
but it might, at that point, when you realize that, it'll almost be too late.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
And
mean, for
that's-
them
and-
in crypto, but
and that's the
hopefully not
saddest
everything
part,
else.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Because it's like you're not trying. We're not here on this channel trying to convince you to get into any certain token. We're here to give you an understanding to where you're like, oh,
There's new jobs that
okay.
can create from this.
I could potentially, I can get down with this.
Career paths.
Yes,
There's
yeah.
so many things that you can
Tons of
do
things.
with crypto that can change your life and the way you look at life, the way you handle your finances, the way that you handle your career trajectory and all that stuff.
Yeah, man, 100%.
Like there's the simple go to college 9 to 5 that can change with this because
I think it will change, honestly.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
think it will
Passive
change.
income.
Yeah.
the staking, all that stuff,
Everything.
mining, anything like.
So if you had to talk to someone brand new, just not into crypto at all, but they wanted to get into, they were intrigued about it. If you had one piece of advice, what would it be? For someone
It's funny
brand
because
new.
my initial one used to be don't watch crypto YouTube, especially prior to when I had a crypto YouTube. I said it's gonna shallow your idea of what's actually, you're just gonna look at some dude screaming at a trading chart, right, and saying like, yo, this is going to the moon,
Right.
this right now. So I was always kind of like, I had this thing where I was like, like don't watch YouTube videos about it. There's very few people I'll recommend, but I guess like I think this goes for a lot of things in life, but also crypto in general, there's a lot more to it, and it is not complicated enough where you or any individual who's willing to put in the little bit of extra time can understand. Like it's not something like, oh, only a certain amount of people they have the brain for it. It's not that. It's
Right.
understanding why, and also understanding why the technology is going to be important, why it's good for the environment, why it could be good socially and financially for the individual.
Exactly.
Once you understand why and you start putting, connecting the dots backwards to the actual technology, it'll all make sense. I think that's how, it clicked in my head when I first realized like, oh, like that's why this is so transformative.
Right.
So I guess I don't know if that's a good answer, but that's sort of where I would start, is figure out why like there's me and these guys over here talking about it on a podcast, or why I'm telling you that I've just dedicated all of my free time to doing this. There's a reason why.
Right.
And there's a reason why this technology is so important moving forward.
Exactly.
That's deep. That's a good.
Yeah, man. I mean, because a lot of people fail to realize that there will be different types of channels, right? There are going to be those people that scream at you, "Get in now, right now! You're gonna miss the wave." Blah, blah, blah. You're gonna get that, and with YouTube, you have to really find the ones that want to give you that information, because everybody wants to chase the wave. You know what I'm saying? If it's a Shuba Duper coin, they're gonna be like, "Up, Shuba Duper coin, you better get in, dog.
Yeah.
You better not wait, because it's gonna blow up. It's the next 1000x." And
that was
the person
the wrong
that gets
thing,
in, they're like, 1000x? I get 1000x my money? Oh man, I'm getting in. Say less. And then they get rugged, and then they're like, "Oh, crypto's trash. It didn't work."
Yeah, that's like the worst case.
You know what I'm saying? And
there's like people that just literally bring news to crypto news.
Yeah.
And that's just like, some people don't even know where to begin to look for crypto news. Like I didn't know anything about Crypto Panic, with Coin Telegraph, but before, right?
Yeah.
And just to learn, right? You don't want to listen to CNBC and all that stuff, and they're just,
because that's fun.
you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
You want do your own research. Go in the Reddits. Go in, Twitter. Go and look and see the conversations being had, and just look at different perspectives and see what's going on, right?
That's the other thing, is like, to me, it's like, I also feel this very, very strongly about this. It's like, we have the internet, like we have Google.
Yeah.
We literally have access to anything we want. We have access to the smartest people's brains, their books, their writing. Like, all I did was go on Google and start, researching to the point where I got so deep that now someone would say like, wow, like this guy knows so much about this, like, and will take advice from me.
You just took the
when
time.
they could just go and do it themselves.
Most people.
So
won't,
that's the other thing I'm kind of realizing too, is like, and yes, people, not everybody can put in the time. That's why you have value in spending your own time in learning the stuff.
Right.
But if you are really at the point of asking or saying like, why is this stuff so important, and you want to know, it's always, you're going to be so much, this is my I guess, hypothesis here because it hasn't, actually played out yet. But it's like you're going to be much more successful with this if you actually understand it, because then you're never going to, you're only listening to yourself and what you know, not what anybody else is saying. And obviously there's so much garbage out there. No.
Oh my God. There's so much.
You just go type in cryptocurrency or type in Ethereum or type in any token or anything, and you'll just see all the thumbnails. 1,000x, next 1,000x, this has happened, and then you just click on it, and they're just like hyping up something that doesn't even, it's just a bunch of just like hype. It's all hype. Getting people to not giving them real information. Hey, this is what EIP 1559 is, and explaining what it did for Ethereum and why it's important for Ethereum 2.0. They're just saying, oh, it's gonna make the price go up. It's gonna make the price go up.
Exactly.
They don't explain what it is. Like, and then there's a fork. They don't even tell you what a fork is. They don't, all that stuff. Like,
Now, I mean,
and we did a whole and we did a whole video explaining it. And that was like,
I mean, I think with crypto, man, honestly, it's crazy. You don't have to get so deep into like every little thing. Like so let me kind of back up to kind of give clarity, right? When I first learned about crypto and how to really do research, the first thing that they told me or that I learned was you have to read the right white paper, right? So I was like, all right, I'm looking for white papers everywhere. Where's the white paper? Where's the white paper? And as I'm reading these white papers, I'm starting to realize that half the stuff on here, I really don't understand. It's like, it's a bunch of numbers and it's a bunch of this and algorithms.
Roadmap and all that stuff.
It's so like, it'll make an average person go, dude, I don't even know. Like, let me just search up, is this coin going to make me money? Because at this point,
potential of a $100
I can't. I like, what even is this? You know what I'm saying? So, I really enjoy our channels because we kind of, for lack of a better word, we dumb it down so that people can understand it easily, without stumbling and fumbling and doing all of that. And I'm really grateful that me and John decided to come together to do this, because I had a YouTube channel before. I was doing gaming, and me and John, when we got into crypto, our first cryptocurrency we got into was Dogecoin, right?
That's a funny story too.
Oddly enough, but so Dogecoin got our,
a lot of people, that was their first.
Yeah,
but
that got our start.
We first heard of cryptocurrencies from the movie Dope. I don't know if you remember that movie. It's a funny movie. It's a really cool movie. It's dope.
I do.
He brought up Bitcoin, and then they were talking about exchanges, swaps to do with the long hair. So you want me to set up that exchange for you? And we watched it recently. Like, he was literally just talking about Uniswap, but it wasn't created yet. I don't think those type of stuff wasn't there. And he was literally like, "You want me to create that swap for you?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'll create it." And then
you think that's a coincidence?
Oh, it's crazy.
It could be.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and we thought Bitcoin was a scam.
Prudential programming.
Back then,
No, it's
2015.
It's crazy to me. What I was gonna say? Oh, Startup on Netflix. I didn't know that was about crypto, but that's a good show too.
I heard about that. I haven't looked that up yet. I heard that was actually good. I'm gonna have to check that one out.
It's
pretty good.
Yeah, man. It's predictive programming if you think about it. You know what I'm saying?
That movie was literally based on him moving his money and getting it into somewhere that is going to appreciate, and then it's out of fiat.
Exactly.
And then they create an exchange for it and all that stuff. And then
it's a pretty interesting movie.
Man.
It's a pretty interesting movie. Because you think about it, you're like, that happened in 2015.
Imagine we just
we thought about it how it really was and not just thought it was a movie.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you guys start looking at everything. That's what I mean. It's like, we're in a simulation. Life is a movie. Like,
exactly.
It's like, just do it. Like, I really think it's like, I've definitely like I said, like, since COVID, it's like, I can't look at things the same. It's like, things that are happening in movies are literally happening in real life. Donald Trump is our president, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, anything is possible at this point.
Yo,
like, seriously, The Simpsons predicted all this stuff. So it's like,
The Simpsons did. Not? Family Guy. All of them.
It's insane. Like, how.
I just hope the zombies don't come. That's the only thing.
No, I agree.
That's the only
In the metaverse,
thing.
they will, though. In the metaverse,
well, but that's the metaverse.
And they will play.
I could do a couple things
Ready
in the
Player
metaverse.
One. Ready Player One.
Yeah, but looking long term, man. What are your long term goals with this channel? Because I heard you talk about overall long term you want to do X amount of things. So what is that going to be for you? What is your long term goals with what you're doing with crypto?
So like, I've been trying to figure it out because like I said, my passion is greater than just crypto.
Right.
it's kind of all the things we're talking about, the holistic view of what crypto and all of this stuff is going to be a part of in terms of where we're going as society, etc. So I think I'm definitely going to start a podcast, and it's not going to be because if you think about it, crypto, the other really cool thing about crypto, which I, like, it feels like full circle to me because I was someone who never really knew, like I knew I didn't want to work a regular job. I knew I could not do the 9 to 5 from like when I was a junior, but I said I'd go to college. I would do that stuff so that like, at least I can say I did it. My parents won't be too upset with me, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. No, I understand.
So I went down that road, and now it's like, now I can do whatever I want. And crypto has, gaming, crypto has, decentralized finance. It has, it's bringing people in from all different,
walks of life.
Exactly. Walks of life, where it's like, we can also just have conversations about, where life is going. And how we can kind of impact that in a way where we use our platforms, whether it be DANTE DeFi or crypto logic or something else that is created that our followings then go and follow.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, whatever it is, I know it's going to be it's going to be somehow related to DANTE DeFi, but it's going to, whether it be on that channel or not, it's going to be something that kind of encompasses all of that, because that's, what I'm also realizing is with a lot of the other stuff that I've started up, the thing that has not been there is the consistency of it, or, being able to maintain that. And so I think I found a way to maintain this channel and the vision of it so far out that it's going to succeed just based on how far out it's been planned.
Right.
And that's, and it's the same for you guys, right? Like, you're not looking at the short term. It's like, I'm going to talk about assets that I think could be around in 7 years. That means that like, if you want to go on this journey with me, you got to be around for,
exactly.
It's like a spiritual journey too.
Exactly.
Because you're going to learn more.
And you'll learn so much more about what's going on in the world just by knowing what's going on in crypto, because all the most influential people in the world are going to be influencing crypto, which means they're also going to be influencing everything else about what's going on in the world. So it's like,
exactly.
There's a bigger picture that like I have as the vision, and what's crazy is like, you do see it, like you hear people's comments and you look at people's comments, you realize like, somehow I'm not saying these things, but people are resonating with it. So it's like, that's how I know like this is going to keep going, and it's not going to stop, because it takes only one person to realize like what you're saying when you're not actually saying it, if you get what I'm saying.
100%.
Like,
that's how I
reading between the lines of what you're saying. And so as long as somebody's getting it, that means that they're like, eventually there'll be enough people where this is going to be a big thing. And I think the same goes for you guys too. Yeah,
long term, man. Where I see myself personally, and I'll let John speak about how he sees it or views it long term. But for me, crypto is just the base, right? It's the start. It's the thing that's going to allow for me to create generational wealth for myself and my family. Now, I'm married. I'm 29 years old. I have 4 kids. One of my daughters is autistic. And I really want to bring awareness to, the autistic children, to, get them, help that they need, because there's a lot of programs out there. But, with my daughter being autistic, I want to make sure that she has the best care and the best help, and, help other people to know, because when we found out that she was autistic, it was like you were in denial for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of parents kind of go through that, and they don't have the spaces where they can just sit down and talk about it or have anything like that. So, later on, once, crypto does what it does, I'm going to start to, bring that into my life and try and help out with that aspect and things of that nature. But John, in your opinion, man, what are your long-term goals? What do you want to do after crypto does, so everyone starts to get into crypto?
Yeah, when it's I know that it's inevitable, and that's like that's my word. It's everything is inevitable. So the journey that we're on, everything that we're doing is inevitable. It's all gonna come into reality. That whatever I have in my head, and that's at the end of the day, we're in early before the mass, right? Out of 7 billion people on the planet, 300 million are
actually
in now. And that number went from 112 million to 300 million within the last few months. Right, just from like February to now. So that's that's just the beginning of it. And with that comes the fact that, hey, we are in early. So what happens when now there's a couple billion people in the crypto? What does that mean to our initial work that we've put into the cryptos that we've invested in? Right. So that is at that point is inevitable, which will then cause generational wealth. And basically we're early in the internet stage, right? Being able to invest early in it. So with my, like with my long-term goals, I want to be able to use that and essentially be someone that kind of gives back as much as I can, rather than someone that just goes and hides on an island or something. Like I'm not saying I'm multi, but like my dream is to be somebody that's in the front lines helping build infrastructure.
So like philanthropy kind of?
Yeah, like I want to, because I'm half Cuban, so I want to, I see that. I'm very happy that they're adopting cryptocurrency. I wish that I could be someone like in my 30s, late 30s, going to Cuba, teaching them about blockchain, teaching them how to use wallets, teaching them how to set up, man. You know what I mean? Things like that, where someone that's has, in my regard, in the future, I'm thinking futuristically, what is it? Credibility.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy was an early adopter in crypto 10 years ago. Imagine being able to say that. Yeah, I was into this thing 10 years ago. I've been in crypto for 10, 15 years.
Right.
And how much knowledge that I know all of us are going to acquire from that 10 if we don't stop what we're doing, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So then,
I mean, that's the thing. It's like literally, I mean?
If
you just stick with it right now, you are there. You're already there.
Yeah, you're halfway there.
Everybody else is 10 years behind you, but you're already there.
Exactly.
You just gotta stay there.
And then it's any country, right? El Salvador is looking to fully adopt it. Imagine 10 years from now going to El Salvador and setting up a business there to help people. There's so many things you can do regards of with crypto, and not just with crypto. Like me, I know how to build websites. I'm a web developer. I want to be able to help give kids, like, give them laptops instead of, so, and especially in urban areas and stuff like that.
Right.
Get rid of the guns, go get a laptop, learn how to edit, learn how to edit something on Photoshop, learn how to use Photoshop.
Yeah.
Learn how to make a music beat, learn how to edit a video, learn how to create a Shopify website, learn how to create a WordPress website, something like that. Something to give people, or setting up a gaming stream. Some kids don't know how to do that. They play games all day, but they don't even know how to set up a stream.
Yeah.
I know some people are like,
agree.
Streaming. I'm like, you're funny. You could
do it.
Yeah. But they don't see it. They just think you're just.
What I'll say to you is, or no, keep going. I have
I'm done. I can go on a rant. I rant a lot.
No, I just want to say, like, this is like. What you guys are basically saying just is exactly how I feel, in the sense that, I can't like motivate myself to do this based on just making money.
Right.
Like, that's not what motivates me. And every time it is motivated just specifically by, I could make a lot of money off of this, it never lasts, right?
Yeah,
the consistency isn't there.
Yeah, right.
And so it's like, how do I make this something? How do we turn this into something that is going to help as many people as possible? That's the only way this is going to work. So whether it be starting out right now with helping people who, there are those people who are putting, like, whether it be the right decision or not, are putting, money that they can't lose into things that people online are telling them to put
their
money
mortgage,
into.
Rent,
and losing it. And
And
that's the worst part about it, is like, you see that you hear about the people who do great, but then there's always those people who lose, and you feel for those people the most. And so when you again, it's like when you've been blessed with knowledge, or one way or another, whether it be through your education or something, it's like, it doesn't mean you're better than anybody else or you come from higher ground. It's literally just like this, you have this information, share it so that maybe somebody else will take this information and not make a mistake or not make a decision that's going to hurt them, because you've already made that mistake for them, and now you're giving them the lesson they can learn from it.
Exactly. No,
and
that's
inspiration too. So you can inspire the next person that can take it further than we can ever take. There's probably a kid out there that was watching us that can take it further than we can envision, and build something, build their own cryptocurrency.
Exactly.
Look at the
Chamath, right? You guys know Chamath?
Who?
Chamath, like the investor. He wants to be like the new Warren Buffett, basically. He's actually from.
I know. No,
Chamath Palihapitiya.
No, yeah, no. I know. I'm gonna have to look that up.
He's the guy behind SoFi, and he was one of the guys who was talking about Bitcoin very early. But he's a very famous investor now. But he's from Sri Lanka, whereas I grew up there. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Small,
you grew up in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, so my mom is from there. I grew up there before.
Oh, him!
Here for
I know him. I never knew his name. I like couldn't bring, but it's this guy.
Oh yeah.
They always bring him on interviews and talk, and he talks really fast. He's like,
exactly.
But he's like calm and collected, but he talks really like eloquent. Like he's like he's a very prominent Bitcoin investor, right? He loves Bitcoin,
he
right?
is. Yeah,
Or
he's
all
seen,
crypto, right? Or,
he's seen the he's come from a place where it's like
This
of
guy,
course Sri Lanka
this guy.
is a developing country. Like he's like
I
I've
know
seen the
him.
same thing is what I'm saying, in the sense that like he knows that there's a lot more to life than just being rich, and I think
Right.
you guys know
Mhm.
that, and a lot of other people understand that, but they don't realize, like I guess we all haven't realized for a while, that all it really takes for us to be able to like actually make a real change in the world and leave a legacy is by going out and doing something that one initially will give us the financial resource to then go and spread that out to do some
Yeah.
kind of good, you know.
Exactly.
Like that's literally it. Like
Right.
I don't want to work a job for the rest of my life where then I'm working for somebody else and their end goal is
Yeah.
just to make money, just to make
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
stack bigger. They're not
Yeah.
actually truly doing anything that's going to be put back into the world and actually help
Yeah.
it, get to a place where when you and I are gone,
Yeah.
we have something that we actually left here for people that is actually a thing that is positively impacting people. And like I think there's a lot of people even who think that's like a corny thing to say, or it's it's unrealistic, but it's like who's to say, sorry. That
No
always
worries.
happens. Who's
Phones
to say,
always
like,
go off, man.
what's unrealistic or not? Like,
Right.
I guess the point is like you should really be, every single one of us should be dreaming very big about, and like you guys are, like that's awesome, because I'm telling you, like it's sad to go into work and think that there's people like unfortunately who are like they don't like they're comfortable with what they have. They've never had to kind of have the struggle of not knowing that they might not get their next meal, so it's like they can't have those massive dreams of I want to go and do this and change the world, or I need to change my life
Right.
so drastically, because it's like you always hear the rags to riches story, because the people who have nothing,
Right.
something in them turns them into the person that they become, right? But it's like when you've lived your life in comfort for so
Forever.
long,
Yeah.
you never really it's a scary thing to leave that comfort and then go and do something where you could fail, or you could be laughed at or mocked or embarrassed, not because you deserve it, but because that's what the way society is now.
It takes
So,
courage.
yeah.
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 I mean, society puts this plan together for you when you're born.
Yeah.
Gotta go to college, gotta get a degree, gotta get a
years,
job.
yeah.
That's the thing that we've been taught all of our lives. I'm sure you've
Right.
heard that your whole life as well.
If
so
you didn't go to school and didn't get a degree, then they look at you as something
A failure.
Yeah.
Or like to me, my biggest thing is when someone asks you, "Oh, what's your job?"
right.
And it's like,
Yeah.
and to me, now that I'm like older, I'm always looked at it as like, it seems like I don't want to say like I have a job. Like I live my life,
Yeah.
like I
Right.
do what I love for a living. It's not a job to me,
Right.
Yeah.
like that's like
Exactly.
the piece that I want to, that's what I'm striving for personally. Like I just do what I love. I
Right.
don't have a job. Like this is just what
No,
I
I agree.
do. This is my living, my life.
But
Yeah.
let's back up a little bit, because you said you was from Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Yeah. So my
What?
mom is Sri Lankan. My dad is from the U.S. And so I grew up. I was born and raised in Sri Lanka, and then moved to the United States for high school and college.
That's
Well, so
pretty dope.
you came over here in your teens, pretty much.
Yes, I
So
believe the
First
summer
quarter of your
I
life was
turned 13. Yeah.
whoa. First quarter of
So
your life
that's
was in a
why
whole
I
different
guess, like,
country.
yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I
that's-
was,
that's dope, man.
Did you know? I don't know much. Did you know English when you came over here?
Yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
like I went to an English speaking school,
Oh, okay,
but
okay.
they call it international schools. It's like you study in English.
Oh,
But-
okay.
Yeah. So it wasn't like, it didn't come completely. I was a little uncultured, not gonna lie, but like I knew English at least.
But yeah, America will speed you up quick in the culture.
Yeah,
yeah,
America will
no,
speed. Go
for
to high
real.
school.
100%.
You got dropped in right into high school.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. In middle school, man, it's the worst. It's the absolute worst time to,
Oh, middle school. Yeah.
pack up your life and like move and
Yeah.
then show up to an
Yeah.
American middle
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
That's a
move,
real
but-
like, whoa, we gotta adapt quick.
Yeah.
Clicks
100%.
and friends and
That's
But
pretty
that's
dope,
life, man. That's what I'm
I would've-
realizing.
Yeah.
Like, every day is like that. Those changes is what teaches you the most. So it's like, don't be afraid of those changes. Like we have to embrace crypto. We have to embrace all these changes and figure out how we're gonna make sure all of it like goes in the direction of helping people and not
Yeah.
just into the same kind of
toxic.
system that we have
System
now.
that we
great
have.
power comes great responsibility.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Ben
Yeah.
Ben Parker. Rest in
Exactly.
peace.
All of those overused quotes that you take,
Spider-Man?
you gotta consider them to be
Yeah.
legit, because they are.
Yeah,
Even
and,
though
and you see that now more than
Yeah.
ever with crypto. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. So I guess we're on to the part where you get to ask us the questions, fam. What kind of questions you got for us, man?
Yeah, whatever.
So I wanted to throw back a bunch of these questions at you guys, but like I think I've gotten some information. But long story short, like, what made you start this? How, like, where do you feel you are now, and what is the end goal? What is the vision? What is crypto logic, or whatever it is that you two create at where you're going to be like, you know, yeah, we did it. Like we accomplished what we were trying to accomplish. Or do you feel like you'll ever get there, really?
So I can go first. For me personally, you know, when we started Crypto Logic, man, like I said before, we were already into crypto, and we were talking about it every day because we were just so intrigued by it, what it did, and you know, the use case of it, and how it's going to be around for many, many years, and how, you know, at first it was more so for me personally, it was like, I'm going to change my paradigm for my family to be able to give them, like, be a first generation millionaire, quote unquote, was my whole thinking when I first got into it, right? And as I continued to learn about it and grow with it, it changed to where, okay, that's going to be inevitable. Like John's favorite word is, it's going to happen. I'm going to be a, you know, first generation millionaire. So I don't have to worry about that as the goal. You know what I'm saying? Now it's more so, now when you're a first generation millionaire, what are you going to do with it? You know what I'm saying? Are you just going to be the guy who drives a Ferrari, has a nice house, and, you know, lives on the hill sheltered and, man, don't come to my house? Or are you going to be the person who really makes change in the world? And, you know, I don't proclaim to know everything. I don't think that, like, the visions that I have now might change next year, might change in the next 6 months. I don't know, but that's just the uncertainty. But you know, it's one of those things where with Crypto Logic, what we wanted to do was give people a place where they can come and not feel so scared, where they can have a voice. You know what I'm saying? Where it could be like, look, man, I'm new. I don't really know anything about crypto. And I found you guys' channel. You guys are cool. You guys are just, you know, you talk to us like we're actually human beings and not just screaming at me, telling me to get into this token because it's going to make me money. You know what I'm saying? And that's just why for me personally, that's why I wanted to start, you know, Crypto Logic, to give people that space. Even with my gaming channel, it was always surrounding about family. That was my whole thing. I wanted to be surrounded by like-minded people. You know, you are who you hang around, or you know, the people you choose to associate with. So will we ever reach our goal as far as that goes? I'm not sure if you can actually ever reach that goal. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always going to be someone who needs help. And I feel like it's our job to give them that education and not make them feel like it's a dumb question. You know what I'm saying? Because in high school, a lot of the times you would not raise your hand because you don't want to look stupid in front of the class. And that's why I feel like our channel gives them that understanding. And for me personally, that's what where I want to take it.
No, that's awesome, man. I will say, wait, what was I going to say? I had something to say. I'm forgetting.
That happens to me a lot.
Oh my goodness, I totally forgot my train of thought.
Oh, it happens, man. Don't even worry about it.
Oh no, this is what I'm going to say before you go. It's interesting because it's like with crypto, it's like you already have the feeling of financial freedom before it's kind of happened. I think we all kind of realize that we are in a place now where it's like that realization, that kind of feeling of like I've changed my life already happened like 6 months ago or a year ago, when you realize like some of this stuff is here to stay, and we are very early. You know, the actual money, the money is not there yet for like a lot of this stuff, but you know it's coming. So it's like now your goals have totally changed from I want to be financially free. I want to make sure that my family has everything, you know, like what motivated me to make money was like, I want to be able to buy my parents a house. And like I set a goal for how much the down payment was going to be a year ago. And like a year from then, like I've gotten to that place, and it's like, wow, like I was looking at this, literally it was telling me like I was going to make that amount of money by the time I was like 53. I was like, I can't wait till 53 to make get my parents a house. If this is something I want to do, if that's a goal in life, that's a long time to wait. And so the fact that it only took a year doesn't mean I'm special, or like this is Like I'm, whatever. It's nothing about me. It's just the fact of like that, like taking the action on whatever it was that was like there and making that intention. That's all it took.
Exactly.
And then sort of things kind of played out the way they played out.
Right.
I think that with crypto too, like going back to what you said about, a lot of people are afraid to get in. It's like, just get in.
Yeah.
That's the
You
thing.
Buy
Yeah.
something. I literally send crypto to my friends just so they have it, because I know that just from when the price goes up, they're gonna be like, "Whoa, why is the price going up? What's going on?" They're not gonna text me. They're just gonna finally just do it for themselves, and then it's gonna be like, "Boom, I get it now."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead,
guess
Sean.
my that's literally the same like thing is if it can happen to, I feel like if it can happen to me or anyone that I'm around, it can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
Right. It just takes that first step of getting into it. So like for me, it was when the Dogecoin was like the first taste of me actually going and buying some. And to be honest and transparent, I bought on Robinhood, and that was like, I didn't even know about exchanges. I didn't know that people like, it was a derivative, like, which means I didn't own that actual token. I didn't own that. I didn't.
Right. You couldn't swap it.
Yeah, that wasn't my. And I was like, what? I didn't understand. And fast forward to now, it was like, holy! I was so naive, and like, and we thought like, so many people are like that. Like our friends own crypto on Robinhood, and like, get it out. That that's just like a little thing. Get it, that you don't own it. So that there's so much more to crypto than that. So like my thing was the technology of it. Is I love, and I'm a tech person. Like I love the technology, and I was like, oh man, this is something brewing. This is something brewing. And a year before, during the pandemic, I was someone that was really into the whole, that side of with social justice and everything like that, what's going on. I was really passionate about that stuff.
Yeah.
And then crypto changed my life into saying, hey, like there's so much more in life than just that. It's a big deal, but I can't make any change just by posting an Instagram story or posting an Instagram. That doesn't do anything.
Right.
I want to make real change. And once I got to the point where like Dogecoin gave me that taste of, wow, like this thing can appreciate and everything. And then as learning more of the technology, that's when I said, well, the money is inevitable at this point.
Right.
Why am I focused on the money?
Exactly.
I'm gonna focus on the future of this whole world that's gonna change here. The whole world's gonna look different in 5 to 10 years compared to where we are now. With like,
exactly.
You don't even have to work at an office anymore. You could literally work from home with your laptop and a Zoom, and you could teach a class on Zoom. Teachers were teaching, and kids were at home learning. And to me, it just blew my mind. Like, okay, I got to get ahead in learning and perfecting my mind around this technology and becoming an expert. And I want to deep dive and become. And that was like my thing. And I was, telling Mike, like, we got to learn about all these cryptos. And Mike took like a whole day. And
I disappeared.
Yeah,
for like
he
3
dissipated,
days.
and he came back. He's like, "Oh, we got VeChain.
What
got
you gotta do?"
And I'm like, "But he did,
that feels like nothing, but it's like people don't do that.
Yep.
Yeah, I literally disappeared, and John was texting me, man. He's like, "Bro, where you at?
Bro,
Where you at?"
Yeah.
And I was just, whoop.
And
I was just gone.
And we learned about, like, for me, XRP, and then shout out to Coach JV. He was the one that introduced me to look up XRP. He didn't tell me anything. We was watching his channel. I looked it up, and I was like, "Yo, this is gonna solve the banking problem."
Yeah.
I hate our banking, the ACH, this is gonna solve the banking problem.
Yeah,
this is gonna solve it.
Terrible.
XLM, the same thing, but peer to peer. And then I learned more about how Ethereum was a layer 1 tech. I learned about layer 1 tech, layer 2 tech, DApps, things
layer
being DAG, things being built on top of these blockchains that are gonna make the blockchain more universal, right? More the landscape of it all. Right. And then my biggest thing, my favorite thing about crypto is interoperability. What crypto is going to help all these cryptos work with one another. Right. That's like my thing. And then knowing that is once we get to that point where the world is fully adopting crypto, it's the possibilities we can't even fathom in our mind.
Exactly.
Right now. So like my long-term goal for the channel is just to continue to educate. It's never going to stop.
Right.
And and I hope that we can inspire people to do what Mike did. Go lock themselves in a room and just learn. What do you like? What do you like? Are you good with? Do you like finances, banking, look at cryptos that are going to help make financing better.
Gaming,
gaming crypto, NFTs. There's the blockchain. There's so privacy,
dude, everything.
Security,
that's the thing. There's
security.
something for everybody in crypto.
Yeah,
there's literally something for
and
everybody.
it's not even about the money. It's not even. It's about learning the technology and becoming. You can build a career off of that knowledge.
Right.
Whatever you choose to do with it.
Yeah.
100%. Like if you're in finance, if you're in environmental science, if you are in social justice and the legal field, like
everything.
Your most important job, if
real estate.
Yeah, if you're in any of those things, insurance, your most important job, if you are trying to be someone who is, you know, moving along with where technology and society is going, your job is, at least this is my opinion, of course, guys.
Of course.
Your job is to like figure out like how do I stay relevant and how do I make sure that, you know, you would want to assume everyone has good intention, right? So it's like, how do I make sure that, you know, the intention of this transformative technology stays good, like stays in the kind of favor of the people? Because like if no one pays attention to it and people are just going to, you know, throw the regulation back and forth and make it favorable to themselves and these big companies, et cetera, then the whole situation is just going to turn into what it has been for the last 20 years, right? With the internet.
I think it might do that already though. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, like we were saying earlier, that we're super early in this, right?
Yeah.
But imagine when regulation actually does happen and the handcuffs come off the big corporations.
Yeah.
Well, all that money that's stuck
it's
in the stock
inevitable.
market is going to flood into the crypto
It's inevitable.
space. So the average,
We're just
us
gonna ride
as
the
the
wave
average
up.
investors, since we're here early, we're able to get in on it. But imagine the people that thought we were wearing 10 hats and didn't listen to us.
It's like investing into Facebook and Instagram back in the day.
No, it is.
And not knowing what it was going to be now. 3 billion people use those platforms.
Yeah.
And TikTok, everyone that was against TikTok.
I was against it, 100%.
And now
I
that's
didn't
like the
think it would
fastest
blow up,
place
to
to
be
grow.
honest.
To grow anything that you want to cook, make a TikTok channel and then show how you cook. You can grow over a couple months.
Or overnight, really.
Overnight, if you make a really good meal, you know.
Yeah,
but
TikTok is just another form of doing like showing you that you can basically have
change your
skills
life.
and you
Literally,
have things that people will benefit from.
Yes.
Exactly.
Whether if you spent your whole life doing, I mean, Gary Vee says it, and it's true. It's like if you are good at something very specific that people are interested in, you don't realize how valuable that is until you go and put it out there for other people to see, and then all of a sudden, you know,
plants,
whatever it may be that
plants.
you're good at is something that you're making a living off of, and that is for me, that's a dream for everybody. I don't want it to be just me. It's gonna be like, if you think about it too, it's like the other thing that I realized is like when you realize, okay, well, the money's no longer going to be an issue. Like that's going to come. Like I don't need to spend my time worrying about how I get out of my job anymore, because I know like I'm going to be out of my job.
Yeah,
exactly.
But the point is like, is there a point if everybody around you is still living in that world that you just did everything you could to get out of?
Yeah.
The
Like
saddest
if they're
part,
all stuck there, then what's the point of doing it? If all your friends are still working the 9 to 5, when you're free and you can do whatever you want, what's the point?
I mean, the saddest part,
money is just time, right? Money is the freedom to have all the time you want to do what you want. And so if like, so that means like we all have to bring other people into this, and it you know eventually comes back to why you make a channel, why you talk about the things you talk about.
Yeah. I mean, the saddest part, man, honestly, about that is like me and John, we've been best friends for basically almost all our lives, right? But we also have friends that have regular 9 to 5 jobs, and we're trying to educate them, but they keep pushing back. Like,
they only see on a monetary level, right?
Yeah.
That's
They're
how,
like,
to be honest, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
No, that's 90. I don't even know the percentage, but most people, right?
Most people will.
And we're trying to push the long-term narrative on them, and that they're not ready for it.
They're just not ready,
and they don't
for
want to.
it.
They don't understand. Like, why would I get paid in crypto? I like getting paid direct deposit every 2 weeks into my bank account. I don't get it. Like, and not even about that. Like, just about as an example of XRP, right? Like how you can send your money within 3 seconds. You know?
Yeah.
Well, Venmo does that. I'm like, yeah, but it's bigger than that. Think about a venture capitalist trying to send $50 million overseas. That would take 10 days or something, you know?
2 weeks.
Yeah, he can send that within 3 seconds.
Yeah.
To Europe or whatever.
I don't think people realize how fast things are changing.
Yeah.
I think that's what what made me realize, like, if I don't pay attention to this stuff, I'm screwed. is that, you know, the comforts we have now are all going to change. Like they already are changing.
Yeah.
And so
With like things like Instacart,
Yeah, Instacart, DoorDash, Uber, Lyft, Airbnb.
dude, I get all my groceries delivered to me. I don't care what anybody says about, wow, you don't get your own groceries. I save money, and I don't
time.
And I save time. Most importantly is why I do it. But I also save money because I don't walk into the grocery store and just see everything that I'm not supposed to buy.
You get what you want
and buy it,
you get
and
what you
have
want.
an excess
Bing, bing,
of
bing,
things.
Yep.
Exactly.
I only get what I need, right?
Yep.
So it's like there's so many things like that where it's like people are against it for whatever reason. Where it's like, no, don't be against it. Figure out how whatever you're doing is going to translate into.
How can you entwine it with
the
your
future.
life?
Exactly,
Yeah.
because like we can all live a life where, like, you know,
Free.
we're all living well. We're all doing what we love. We feel fulfilled. We have, you know, a whole life in terms of what we desire. I guess you can say we have family, friends, blah blah blah.
Right.
But that's a choice that we have to make at some point or another. I think
Exactly.
I'm just very lucky at what time in life that I've.
Yeah, you got
know,
it
just-
super early, man.
I mean, like you know, it's just the internet, you know, like it is what it is. I grew up on the internet, so it's like for my generation, it's like it, you know.
Yeah, you did. You grew.
They grew up straight
Because
technology.
I just turned 29, so we grew up. We're 92. You said you're 98, right?
Yeah, and that's
So,
the thing.
that's
It's like
like
you
6
guys
years.
were
It's not
too
that
young
much,
maybe when
but-
the internet came out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we got to see
Yeah.
what the world was like before the internet.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and my technology. This is like a little quick mini rant, but my moment. I don't know if you guys have this experience, but my quick technology, like
Epiphany.
moment where epiphany. There it is. Like where I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, we're in the future now. Was
Yeah.
when the gas station, when I pulled up to the gas station, noticed there was TVs in the gas station. to me, for some reason, as a teenager, I think I was young, and I remember seeing these TVs on the gas station showing the news and stuff. It's like, man, it's like a Terminator. Like we're in the future. Like to me, that was just like my moment of, oh man, the world's gonna be crazy in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just my moment. Like I don't know because I
Yeah,
remember
no.
what the gas station used to be like. It was like $1.50 or something, $1.97, and then there was just nothing. There was nothing. Now there's TVs everywhere.
Yeah.
No,
it's-
you're right. You're right.
TVs are everywhere.
It's interesting, man.
To me, that's
just kind of looking back, because like with us being the age we are at 29, we've been without the internet, we've been with the internet,
without caller ID.
and then we've been like during the tech boom. And I feel like the 90s kids are the last generation
Yeah.
where
All of us.
all of us
All
will
the way to
have
2000.
that. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
yeah, I would say my 98, 99. I'm telling you this because like freshmen on the soccer team that I was on, like they're so different. It just 4 years apart. With only
Yeah.
growing up, not knowing what the old world looked like, is so different now.
Did you ever
Because
have a
they are
house phone?
so different.
Did you ever have a house phone?
A house phone, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
There's people that don't have house phones now.
Yeah,
don't even
No
I
one
know.
knows
It's
what
like
house phones now. They don't
it's
know what it is.
crazy
A
to me.
house phone.
No,
I
it's
had
crazy.
one-
Everyone has a cell phone. No one has a house phone anymore. Yeah.
No, it's like those things are ancient. Those
Get to
things
pick
are
it up.
ancient, but you know,
Caller
again,
ID.
also where I grew up, it's like I was a little slower to what the U.S. was seeing at the same
Oh
time.
yeah.
Right, right.
So it's like the world would change so fast from when we were born. So it's like it's happening again. Like this is the next cycle of
Yep,
wow,
yep.
our lives are going
Exactly.
to significantly change.
Yeah.
Where things
could
don't
see-
look the same anymore.
You could see who you're talking to on the phone. Like you're
Yeah.
visually looking. The next thing you know, it's gonna be a hologram.
They talk about it like, you know, magic. What was magic to people 25 years ago? What
Yeah.
we're doing right now, like
If
think
we
about
brought this technology
artificial
back-
intelligence, all this stuff.
BXV.
It exists. Like we're in
Yeah.
the future, and the future is coming a lot faster than
Yeah.
you know this future came. It's
It's
just
very-
gonna keep getting faster.
It's very
Yeah.
exciting when you look like bigger picture, 30,000 foot overview, and imagine yourself at like 50, and your grandkids are like,
Yep.
"You were there when crypto first started."
No,
And
yeah,
you're like,
that's the thing.
Yeah, I was there.
And you didn't buy any, and we're
Yeah.
still broke. You didn't listen to your boy.
You didn't
Like,
get
that's the
any.
point.
You didn't get any Ethereum.
Yeah, I own like 20 of it right now. No, you know,
Now
what I'm
kids
saying?
these days are using iPads at 5 years old.
And they
and
understand
they know how to
it.
use YouTube. They're shopping real. Look, my niece is like 3 or 4, and she's showing me a YouTube channel. My favorite. She's
And
like
she know how to
swiping
skip
up.
the ads and all
I'm
type
like,
of stuff.
what the
Yeah.
fuck? When I was younger, I thought I wasn't gonna be like 25 by the time I got an iPhone. Because I remember when it came out, it was just only on AT&T, and I had like a little flip phone, the LG flip phone, and I remember seeing
Sidekick.
I seen the Apple commercial. I'm like, oh, one day I'm gonna get one when I'm older. I used to say that
Yeah.
when I'm older, I'm gonna get one of those. Now kids have iPhones. They have iPads.
No, it changes. It changes the way they grew up for sure.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
To me, that's just how technology is advancing. You're right. It's advancing at its speed that we've never been accustomed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we blink, it's gonna be over.
Just wait for AI. Just wait for AI.
I mean, yeah.
Artificial intelligence.
I'm a little worried about that though, like with Elon Musk creating the little iRobot type thing. I'm a little worried about that.
Self-driving trucks.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm
definitely off on the artificial intelligence thing. I have another question for y'all because this is really funny, or not funny. It's just interesting because it's like, so I posted something on VXV, Vector Space AI. Of course, these guys talk about it on their channel too.
Yeah. Dante's having a little technical difficulty with his camera, but he will be back definitely for sure. But honestly, guys, we really do appreciate you guys hanging out with us, man. We know that this episode is a little longer than you would kind of be used to. There's a lot of information, a lot of gems, man. So, we're really glad that you guys decided to watch this video. And if you're still around watching this, man, we greatly, really do appreciate you guys. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us, man.
Just know this is from Coach AV as well. The average attention span of a goldfish is 7 seconds or something like that, and humans is 4 seconds. So if you're still watching at an hour and 15 minutes, you're special. You're somebody special. So just take that into consideration. You're special because the average person isn't gonna do this. They're not gonna stay focused on something this long. You know what I mean? And learn and acquire knowledge. That's why there's people that just keep going and excelling in life because they're taking the time and the discipline. It's all about discipline.
Right.
And that's just my quick little.
Yeah, man, 100%.
Nugget.
So, Dante, what was the question that you wanted to ask us?
I think it's camera back.
No, I don't. My camera is completely. I guess the battery died. The thing is exhausted.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
The question was, so one of the comments on the VXV post that I had was like, aren't you a little scared about like what artificial intelligence is doing? Like, do you guys all realize like what you're investing in, like what you're supporting? Basically, like, artificial intelligence can do some things that are, we have to restrict the amount of power that this stuff can have over what we're doing, right? Like there's got to be some boundaries. I guess the point is, my answer to that question, I guess I'll give you the answer to that question after you guys answer, but like, do you feel like some kind of conflict of interest basically with what all the things you've been saying, and then also investing in things that potentially could, create some things that are not necessarily good for the individual or the people who are going to have to start using this technology, whether it be Alliance Block and having all this transparency and all these different things where, people are worried about being monitored, all these kinds of things, right? So before I keep going, like, what do you guys think on that?
So for me, honestly, man, it's going to come whether we want it to come or not. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing is, I'm going to invest in the future, quote unquote, for lack of a better word, because whether we want it to happen, it's going to happen. Yeah, you can either be on the side of the one that's going to just have to accept it once it's here, or you could be on the side of I'm invested in the technology behind it, so I already know what's going on with it. That's just my take on it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to happen whether we want to or not. So
as it happens, and if you are able to be on the positive side of it, right, which is obviously being an early investor and early adopter of that technology, you should be able to have the ability to go out and educate and kind of showcase the positives of it. Though people may see a dark side of it all, a lot of jobs will be lost with technology. Yeah. A lot of jobs will be lost, but then a lot of jobs can be created. But that side of that coin is more of, it's not going to be that route of get a degree and you get a job. This route will be more of the person. You have to indulge in the technology and learn about it. Yeah. And learn about how you can help this space grow. So, being an early adopter allows you to give that I guess understanding and giving back to people and say, hey, don't be afraid of it. This is gonna come. Right. We can't control those. The elites, quote unquote, the governments of the world.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it.
They're gonna force it upon us.
Yeah. You can either invest in it or have to accept it.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That technology is gonna make them money, and it's always all about money to them. Yeah. It's gonna help them cut costs. It's gonna help them, be able to like a vector space is allowing you to make better investments for your money, right? With the AI, with the prediction of that's what the technology is,
the
right?
algorithm.
I did like a whole deep dive in it, but I'm like, kind of top of my head, but
the algorithm allows for you to have an understanding of what potentially could happen
with hedge funds, right? It'll help make a determination of where you should put your money better than someone who's a hedge fund manager, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So things like that, they're gonna use that. They're gonna once it's proven it works,
it's gonna go. It's either you or somebody else. Is
exactly.
Really
there it is.
right?
There
it's
it
either
is.
you or somebody else who's gonna buy the tokens or
Yep.
invest, and then you're just gonna end up being like, well, why didn't I just do it?
Exactly.
My morals put aside, I should have just done it.
You should have
now
just done
I'm
And now you have if you're on the positive side, now what will you do with that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
That's literally dang. Thanks for that.
Yeah, of course.
Cut me from a rant. That's very good because
John likes to rant.
I don't know why.
It's fair, man.
But
That's why you got a podcast,
but it's a
right?
podcast, though.
I
You
know,
what
You
I'm
have
saying?
something to
So,
say.
He
have
just
something
got
to
to get
say.
it out there.
I know he dreads when I call him because he'll look at his phone and be like, damn.
It'll be long.
I'll be sitting there like this.
Expecting a freaking what does he got? What did he find now? What did he find on the Reddit group now? And they're talking with this Reddit people. Hey, I found
So
something.
you guys are in an office right now. You guys don't describe to me your setup, because like that was the first thing I saw, and I was like, again, like you guys are already putting in the work in terms of the visuals and everything. So it's like the next question to me was like, all right, what are their values? What are they trying to get out of this? But like that was the first thing I noticed. I was like, I don't know what number subscribers you had when I first came across you guys, but it's like these guys are, what, 200 subscribers, 300 subscribers.
Yeah.
They already got the setup for the hundreds of thousands that are eventually going to come, right? So
Yeah.
like describe to me that setup and how that came together.
So with me, man, like I said before, I had a YouTube channel before I started, the Crypto Logic podcast with John, and I was already in graphics. Like I've already known how to do all this stuff, like the world that you see and the little spaceman and all of that. Like that's just the background, but we are actually in an office though.
I had this visualization of how I don't want to cut you off, but remember,
no, go ahead.
You had your YouTube channel,
right?
And you had like a green screen and stuff.
Yeah, I had a green screen
because he had the office for himself with his YouTube channel, and then we were supposed to get one originally because we were going to do a movie news channel, but then like when we said, hey, let's do a YouTube channel, and then we didn't want to just show us just like on a desk or anything, no offense, to anybody, but it was like, hey, we want to do something different. We want to show like cool, like we want to vibe, you know what I mean?
Vibe,
with music playing, and someone just sit back and watch us, and we don't want them to tune out like that was just our personal like thing, right? We wanted to make it somewhere where it's like you're like going into space. Let's get on the ship and just riding around space with us, and just talk. Yeah. That's why we had
That's
this
exactly
vision.
the vibe. Like
we had this vision of like, okay, the spaceman. Remember, we spent all day designing this, like the world, and we were just like, because like I said, we both love graphic designing and editing. So we're like, hey, why not use these skills for ourselves?
Exactly.
I've always built websites and stuff for companies I used to work for and IT for. Why not build stuff like put the effort that I did for other people, but for ourselves? And that's basically that was our vision. Hey, who cares if people think it's tacky, or who cares if people think it's corny or whatever? We like it. We wanted to make it cool.
I think it's awesome.
We're sitting right next to each other, and it looks like we're like separate.
Yeah, no, that's
cool though, right?
You see my hand
that's the
over
other
here,
thing, bro. Like I just saw your hand now, but like before that, I was like, yo, they got like a whole studio.
Yeah,
the whole studio. It's sick, dude. It's really sick.
Yeah,
really sick.
He thought of the lights. He thought of the lights in the back, and I was like, "Yo, this is cool." Like, we're on a spaceship right now, just riding through space.
And with the YouTube channel, man, I love visuals. I'm a visual person, so with the world being in the middle of us, and it's so
we're like
with
up here,
the glow,
come with us.
and it just looks so like it was just like wow. You know what I'm saying?
It puts you in the right headspace.
We're on the moon.
Too. You're in the future, man. This is no longer.
Get away from society.
Day.
Get away from all the noise, the fighting, the bickering, and
the left,
just
the
come
right,
over
all
here
that,
and try and learn something new and change your mindset about where, like how you said, the simulation. We're trying to make you, hey, get out of the world, the messy part of the world.
Bit,
Get out of there and come into space with us and That's like our mission,
Yeah,
right?
so
Right?
that's why we decided to do it like this, man. Like all the, like if you watch it every once in a while, you'll see like lightning go up. Like right now, it just popped up. Yeah, it was just more visual, man. Like I said, we're just visual people. John before he was doing Instagram, he was editing videos for dancers, and he was one of the original creators that did like the lasers and stuff like that. And
Oh, no way.
yeah, man,
It's on After Effects. It's like these laser glow lights, neon lights. So like Blotter Media. I don't know if you know Blotter Media. I was doing stuff like that for a while on my Instagram.
I'm
They're
pretty sure
very
you've
familiar
seen those
'cause, like-
lasers that people do in the
They
music
dance,
videos
and
and
it's
dance.
like glow in the
Yeah.
So he was one of the original creators of doing that, and so we're just like, man, why not? Let's just throw all of our knowledge and understanding in graphic design and just put it in a YouTube channel. And then we knew that it was gonna blow up eventually.
Yeah.
We had to believe it.
We had to believe
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it
you
is.
know?
I'm
put it in
telling you
our
all it
head
is.
that we believed it.
Yeah, like what I'll tell you is also like I realized the same thing, and like what you're basically saying is like again like connecting the dots backwards. It's like you look at your life and you look at all the times you failed at trying to do something, and then you realize that wasn't a failure, that was
A stepping stone.
learning a new skill
Learning,
that now has come
learning.
full circle.
Yep.
Because now I can, like I told you, I made music for a whole year and I learned all that stuff about audio, but I was still scared about one thing on OBS or whatever it is. But then like the YouTube stuff, the filming stuff, the graphic design, the reason I was so good at graphic design and I wanted to do it in school was because I was making graphics for like Call of Duty players back in the day. Back in the day, like I was making money doing that. And so I was like, this is amazing, but I didn't really love art obviously, but it was the aspect of being able to do that for a living,
Right.
which was really enticing to me.
Right.
It wasn't necessarily going to school and going into debt for graphic design, right? But now you have all these
Yeah.
skills that crypto definitely lacks the visual side of things. The people are subject matter experts, some of them, not all. And then there's the people who, the YouTubers that exist that we all know that the visuals aren't the important part
The
of what they're
focus.
doing.
Yeah.
But I think you guys definitely have that perfect balance of you guys know what you're talking about and you have an appealing show. Like it's an appealing show where it's like, it's really not, again, like I told you, like my vision is very long term. So it's like, I'm looking at your channel as where can this go? There's no limit to where it can go.
Right.
It might be called crypto logic, but I promise you there'll be enough people who care about what you have to say about anything that you're not going to be talking about crypto a lot of the time.
Right.
It'll be things that relate to
Man,
crypto, but
that-
that's where you
Exactly.
guys will be. That is the end state.
appreciate-
Like, and that's what's really cool.
Yeah, well,
That's what's really
thanks.
cool about where we're at right now.
Really appreciate that, man. Yeah,
That would be a dream.
We try, brother. I mean, John's thing is he wants to be like, I'm not gonna say a public speaker because I don't want to speak for him or put words in his mouth, but like from what I've understood, he wants to be that voice for people that not, for lack of a better word, like that don't have the understanding,
Well,
right?
I was always the kid that knew the answer in class, but never raised my hand to answer the question. I was always that kid, and I want to be able to inspire people to, hey, raise your hand, even if you get the answer wrong. Just raise your hand.
Yeah.
Speak.
Yeah.
And that's like always been like my thing, and I want to be out there and not to say I don't want to be like Gary Vee, but in a sense I want to be out there and inspire and help, and that's like my like personal long-term goal, and I'm like in my 40s 50s and I want to
Be able to
Dude,
give
we
back.
are we are aligned. We are aligned, my friend. Like when I say that, like you have to have like whatever it is your value or your purpose that's driving whatever you're doing.
Right.
And for a
Your
long
why.
time, for me, exactly your why. You start with why. That's like a book that changed my life, by the way.
Yeah.
Simon Sinek, Start with Why, an amazing book. And like it really gets you thinking about really truly what do you want, and like what I came down to was like I have something to say. Like I don't know
Exactly.
in what form and why, or
Or
like
how it's gonna
necessarily
come out. Yeah.
and how it's gonna come out. But I realized like whether it be music, whether it be art, whether it be a YouTube channel, I've always had something that I want people to hear, because it's coming from a place of, listen, like I'm not here to tell you look what I did and look how easy it was for me. It's like, no, this is the guy that you remembered that did this stupid thing and like messed up and like, completely failed flat on their face.
Yeah.
But then decided that that's not enough. Like I can bounce back from this and I can actually learn from this, because part of it is right, like being scared to fail, caring about what other people think of you, and you have to get rid of all of that to truly like
be you,
build something that works, because otherwise it's not you.
That's very hard
true.
to do, man, honestly. Especially in our society, everything is visual. Like we're in California, Los Angeles, California, and if you've ever been here, you know it's like the land of the Lambos and the land of the Porsches and the this and the that, and if you don't drive that, well, you're a failure. You know what I'm saying? And
or they don't want to listen
material things.
Material things, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I personally struggle a little bit with that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be fully transparent. Like I felt like if I didn't drive a certain car, no one would pay attention to me, or no one would listen to me, and that's the wrong mentality and mindset to have. And I learned that now, but I wasn't ready to embrace that. I wasn't open-minded enough to be like, yeah, you're right, man. It doesn't matter if I drive a 1985 Sentra. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people that are into crypto, they still have the mindset of just over broke. And that's what you have to break.
Oh, yeah. Like, that's what, shout out to Coach JV again. He says there's a lot of people that will make money in crypto,
but they're
going to end up broke again. They're going to end up broke back again because they don't change this. They don't change their mind.
Yeah,
you got to change your mind and what to do with the wealth that's inevitably going to come if you do your correct research and your due diligence. It's going to come. But it won't matter if it comes, because you're going to go impress people that don't care about you. You're going to go buy this. You're going to go try and get that girl you've always wanted and woo her, or guy or whatever, and go spend and splurge and go on trips and take pictures and post it. And you're going to go right back into debt.
I mean, you know? Like you guys know it. Wealth is in your mind, not in your bank account. So it's like, teaching people that is the most, I feel like I'm definitely not there where I feel like I completely know all this stuff, but I get it now. Like I've gotten to a point where I understand what people are saying when they say, like, you know, like you guys probably have this feeling. If someone gave you $10,000 right now, you know how to make that $1 million. You know what you need to do to make that $1 million. But there's people out there who they get $10,000, $7,000 is gone that day.
They're going to the mall. They're going to get some
and their life
shoes.
changes zero because of the instant gratification that is driven into us by society. And in fact, like we all know that the instant gratification is what's killing us. Like we're all 100%. Just over broke, right? Like that concept because of that. Because of the instant gratification. I have a car so that everybody can see me. It doesn't matter if I live in a shack, but if I have a really nice car, when I'm driving around, people are going to look at me and
be like, what does he do?
2 seconds of attention.
Take a picture in front of it and post it, and people are going to, how many people are going to like this? People are going to reach out to me.
Life,
and fake it till you make it type thing. And that's like a whole narrative that a lot of people live by. Like they live in that paradigm. It's really sad, you know, but it's like that's the world that they've been brought up on, you know, and it's hard to you have to break that. You have, you know, depending on your parents, how they raise you, and your friends, that has everything to do with it. Your teachers, the people you've interacted with, your role models, everything.
But what we need to realize as content creators and influencers, I know we don't like to be called influencers, but let's be honest here, we're going to be an influencer, whether we want to or not.
It's one of those things.
We have to realize that people will only accept it when they're ready to accept it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's our job not to push someone towards it. It's more to give them the information. So, well, I guess lack of a better word is predictive programming, right? If someone continuously says, hey man, do your research. Hey man, do your research. Hey man, do your research. Eventually you're going to be going to Whole Foods or something. And it's like, man, I really want to know what's in this food. Damn, I should probably do my research. Wait, what the heck? Where did I hear that from? And then they're like, damn, that's where I heard that from. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't ready to listen at that time. I'm ready now.
And people learn, and learning from other people's mistakes is also a big key, you know, and learning from other people that have either failed and have succeeded. And you can learn from those type of events
or situations.
And you can kind of correlate that to your life. Like, okay, why? So I want to start on this venture, but how did that person that I'm looking up to or watching, how did they get there? Where did they, you know, and what can I avoid? And it's just so many ways of how you can just start. The best thing is just to start. That's like the only thing you can say. There's so many ways of how to start, But you'll never start unless you just say, hey, I'm gonna go and do this.
When you learn how to swim, what do?
Just throw you in, push you in.
They just throw you in.
No, it's so true.
You know what I'm saying?
And you either
Well, that's
sink
the
or
fastest
swim,
way to learn how
right?
to swim.
You either
sink or swim.
Sink or
Just
swim.
get in.
You
Yeah,
just jump.
if you jump in thinking
jump
you're gonna
in.
sink, then unfortunately that
Yeah.
like it's the power of the mind, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
Just-
everything you're saying is exactly how I feel. It's like I can't disagree with it. It's just bringing a different example to the exact same thing. So it's really
Yeah.
cool. Like, it's just weird because I'm telling you guys, like, I don't have conversations like this with, again, like, maybe you guys have experienced this once you're out of high school, college, whatever. Like, your circle
Gets very small.
it gets very small.
And smaller.
Yeah.
And especially now, it's people fear that so much. Is like having a small circle when you but like the way you have to look at it is like my circle was getting small regardless, because it's like who you have around you, who you spend time with, who are influencing your emotions and your thoughts are so important. They're the most important people, because one, you are spending energy that you only have so much energy in a day.
Exactly.
You're taking energy out of yourself for that person because you believe that that person's growing into something that is, hopefully a good thing. And you
Right.
believe the same in yourself. That's why you work on yourself. Or this is my own experience, right? But it's
Right.
like the social media side of things has, especially in my generation too, is like become so toxic. And it's not because social media is this bad thing that we have to hate on social media. It's because it's just been, we're human. We
Yeah,
can't
it's
do
how
anything
you
about it.
use
We've
social
turned it
media.
into something. Yeah, we've turned it into something that is not necessarily a good thing for us anymore.
Yeah, guys, this interview was amazing. We really thank Dante DeFi for coming on and spending his time with us, man, because he really didn't have to do that, but we're really grateful that he did. So if you guys don't know who he is now, you probably do know now, because, yeah, this interview was freaking insane. So you guys
him a
definitely go
subscribe.
ahead and subscribe to his channel, like his videos, all of them. Just go ahead and just hit like dun, 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 on every single one of them. All right, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, man. And Dante, thanks again for
Where
coming on
can
the
they
show,
reach
man.
you at? Just YouTube and Twitter, or what's your Twitter?
Absolute
or-
pleasure, guys. Again, this won't be the last time, obviously.
Right.
But you can reach me at my YouTube or Twitter. But I think we'll put this on my channel as well, or something to direct people on my channel to your video and your channel. But
Cool.
very excited for
Appreciate
what's to
that.
come.
Yeah, all of his
Yeah,
links are
man.
going to be down in the description, guys.
course.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
top link. So, and then we'll put it. We'll pin that comment, the first comment, pinned to the top, so you guys can check that out as well. All right. So take care, guys. God bless. Be safe. Peace out.
Peace.